Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, Madam Secretary. Thank you for staying. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your service to your country. And, you know, we, as was mentioned earlier, we'll look forward to your next steps. We'll see what happens. Let me just say, I'm actually an Air Force pilot, and I have a few concerns I want to lay out here. One of the first things I was told as a pilot in the military is that your country will never leave you behind. If you find yourself down in enemy lines, rest assured your country will move heaven and earth to come get you. If you find yourself in armed conflict, rest assured your country will do everything in its power to come save you from that armed conflict. Now, as the representative of the administration here, I have to ask you this. From the initial attack to the second attack, there was a lull of 7 hours. Now, I'm going to say this. I was one of a handful of Republicans to vote to support the president's position in Libya. I think we did the right thing there. But I did it with the knowledge that we would have the military forces in place to be able to rescue any situation. In that intervening 7 hours, military assets, to what we know, what we can talk about, were not put in place. Aviano Air Base is 1,044 miles from Benghazi. Aviano Air Base is an F-16 base. Airplanes could have been put in the air after being fueled, even if they didn't have missiles on them, and there can be non-violent things that F-16s can do to disperse crowds that I know of well. So that's a concern. Originally, also, when you briefed us, I remember, and this has been, I know, hammered, and it's been hammered a little bit, but when you briefed us, you said unequivocally this was a result of the video, and I remember, in fact, you got pretty upset about it when somebody suggested that this was a terrorist attack. This was our briefing that we had. But we find out now it wasn't. We find out now that it wasn't the video, it was this terrorist attack. When we come talk about the issue of the drone and the surveillance overhead, if there was, in fact, a drone overhead, I would assume that there would be a link in which you could watch what is going on live, or else maybe somebody under you was able to see what was going on live, or else that link was down. And another question I have, when it comes to, I watched your testimony in the Senate, and you said, you know, part of the reason we had a little bit of a delay in understanding what was going on, we did not have immediate access to the security cameras, the security footage, but yet at the same time, you had mortars being reported as being fired on security personnel. If I would hear that mortars are being fired, I would immediately assume, regardless of whether I could see what's going on overhead, regardless of if I could see the security footage, that this is more than a spontaneous demonstration. The other question I have, too, I'm laying a few out for you. The FES team, the Foreign Response Team, was that your decision not to deploy that right away? Was that an issue of logistics? Where does that come from? And the final thing I want to say is this. As, again, a believer, which I think you believe, that we are in a time where it is very important for American leadership to be out in front to prevent a resurgence of jihadist activity, of al-Qaeda activity. I'm worried about the strategy of leading from behind. If the United States ambassador in Libya, and I say this respectfully, can't get a message forward to the Secretary of State about his concern about security in one of the most hot zones in the world, I worry about a lead from behind strategy. And if we have no assets on alert that can respond in a 7-hour lull in 2 different attacks in the most hot spot, one of the most hot spots in the country, in the world, on 9/11, on the anniversary, is the lead from behind strategy failing? Because I really want American leadership to be strong. I believe in freedom, and I believe we're the people that are going to be able to take freedom around the globe. With that, I'll give you the remaining minute, and I thank you for your generosity.
And I thank you for your service, Congressman, both in the Air Force and here.